As the world slowly makes its transition away from the use of cars that utilize fossil fuels, especially with most Europeans agreeing to enter and participate in several initiatives, which plan on banning the sale of non-hybrid cars that utilize petrol and diesel by the end of the decade, many have begun to explore the other options that may be out there. As such, many are in the market for more eco-friendly vehicles that'll take them into the future. So they have turned to electric vehicles, especially those that feel like a stopgap from cars powered by internal combustion engines, to zero-emissions cars that are powered by an electric battery. Consequently, anyone that may not be ready to make the full leap, car manufacturers have seen it fit to produce something along the spectrum. And that is where we come to the subject matter of our video: hybrid cars, or HEVs, and plug-in hybrid cars. What are these cars and how do they function? Are they actually the way forward, or is it just another failed experiment carried out by Elon Musk? Let's dive in and find out what exactly these vehicles are and whether they actually might be the way forward. Here are the differences between hybrids and plug-in hybrids. Hybrid cars. To be honest, it's almost surprising that these hybrid cars aren't as popular as they are. Honda released the first mass-produced hybrid car when it released the Toyota Prius a little more than a quarter of a century ago in 1997. Although this model has now been replaced by the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, the principles are still somewhat the same. Hybrid cars are cars that come with combustion engines that work together with a separate electric motor in some capacity or the other. Both engines can work individually to some capacity or supplement one another to a certain degree. You'd find that most HEVs are also referred to as self-charging cars, and this is why most hybrid cars come with relatively small electric motors, which charge up the car's relatively small battery as the car is being driven on the power of the combustion engine. As the car is on the move or when it is coasting along, and even when the car is braking with the use of the combustion engine, electricity is generated and stored. This allows for better fuel economy and utilization than cars that work solely with the use of the combustion engine. However, it must be disclosed that hybrid cars don't usually improve the miles per gallon of a car substantially, and you'll definitely still be pumping that gas, as unlike other electric cars, they cannot make use of plug-in chargers to charge the battery. As you can imagine, this means that they can only drive a short distance with the use of the batteries alone, maybe over a distance of a mile or so. All in all, many drivers of the hybrid cars notice that they tend to make the most sense in town. Carbon emissions will be reduced to a minimum during traffic, while the engine will do most of the work as you do the longer drives. Furthermore, the low emission figures also prove to be helpful as they are considered when it comes to company car taxpayers. These incentives mean you pay a lot less for these hybrids in comparison to owners of combustion engine cars, and anything that will help you save money must be a good thing. Plug-in hybrid cars. When it comes to PHEVs, we might be talking about similar ingredients to the hybrid cars, and that they also have combustion engines and electric batteries under the hoods. However, the way they work together is altogether different from the way hybrid cars function. In a PHEV, the electric battery is bigger, which means this time the battery does a lot more of the driving than the one in hybrid cars. This means that the battery in PHEVs cannot be charged just by the charges given off by the combustion engine. Instead, it requires a 120-volt household outlet or a 240-volt charging unit, so that it can be charged for several hours when the car isn't in use. All this points to the fact that you can drive the car for a long distance, ranging between 20 to 50 miles, depending on the specification of the car. Furthermore, once the electric batteries have died, the PHEVs can then turn to the combustion engine to pick up the load and utilize the petrol and diesel in the car's tank to complete the journey. This is what would be used until the electric batteries are recharged once more. Consequently, it appears that apart from the fact that these cars allow the owner to be a beneficiary of a cheaper and carbon-efficient electric battery, it would also be best utilized over a good short to medium range distance so that the owner can get the optimum use of the battery. Making a ton of long journeys with this car will eventually deplete the battery and make the car over-rely on a combustion engine that may not be well equipped to handle all of the weight, thereby inadvertently leading to the poor performance of the vehicle. If such a scenario is avoided, you'll find that these cars are surprisingly rapid and powerful. You'll also find that these futuristic components and functions have driven the prices of the cars up. Take solace in the fact that they also attract lower company car taxes than hybrid cars. In the future, newer and more efficient versions will expand the capabilities of these low-emissions electric vehicles, so don't be surprised if you find more and more of these vehicles as we approach the end of the decade. So there you have it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for more related content. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye.